Alright guys, today is an episode of The Best of the Rest, and yeah, we'll start off with Man United versus Southampton. So it was a Saturday lunchtime game, and Man United, they went for very similar starting 11 to the one against Liverpool the other night, but I felt they had some very good performers. I thought Scott McTominay had a really good game after having a lot of criticism recently. McTominay has had that directed towards him, particularly from Manchester United fans, I feel. And I don't know if that's partly down to the signing of Casemiro, and he's felt, right, need to step up my game a bit because I've now got competition incoming. But he definitely played a lot better than he usually would have. United's got the goal through Bruno Fernandes in the second half. And it had been coming at times. It had been an even game, but United, you always felt, looked the more threatening when they went forwards. It came from a superb cross by Diogo Dalot to pick out Fernandes from the edge of the box, and a really well cushioned finish with the side of his foot, but still with a lot of power, using the power that was already on the ball from the cross to direct it right into the bottom corner, giving Bazunu very little chance. But what happened in the first half, though, was one of the most impressive, I don't know, just like goal line scrambles I think I've ever seen. Definitely the best so far this season. Like Carl Walker-Peters, Bazunu and Armel Bella-Kotchap all just throwing themselves at it, and there was at least four shots blocked from Elanga, Fernandes, and I think even Ericsson had one blocked by Bella-Kotchap. And God knows how Southampton managed to get away without conceding in that instance. They even had a couple of chances of their own. Southampton, Bella-Kotchap probably had the best one, but he was sort of stretching for it and skied it over the bar in the end. But yeah, it wasn't a bad game by either side. I thought Southampton maybe didn't look as threatening going forward as they have been recently, but yes, it certainly wasn't a bad game for them. United, it's positive because they weren't amazing, but it was a definite improvement, as well as the Liverpool game on Monday. On the first two games of the season, that is 100% certain. And I think a big part of it is the changes they've made to defence. So Varane and Martinez look solid alongside Malacia and Dalot. Dalot, for me, was the one player who, in the first couple of games, was a consistent performer, played quite well. And they've stuck with Ericsson in the side. He's managed to maintain a position, and he's playing all right. He's playing quite well. And yeah, it seems to be going in the right direction for United at long last. It'll be interesting to see what they do between now and deadline day. They're rumoured to be signing Anthony and Martin Dubravka. So yeah, it looks like Ten Hag's decided De Gea is probably not going to be the number one for the season, or if he's going to be on his last chance at least anyway. And yeah, I do feel we're seeing it more now that United probably are just better off without Ronaldo. He just doesn't suit the system anymore, and I think that's partly why big teams want him now. He doesn't do the work off the ball, and the way football's moving now, we are moving towards a more it's a system game rather than it's not I don't know how to put it, but like, you have to be a great team. A great team is better than having great players. That's where we're getting to with football, because Man United v Brentford 2 weeks ago. Man United, if you go player for player, they have the better players, but as a team, they didn't play anywhere near as well as Brentford, hence why Brentford won 4-0. But for Southampton, nothing to worry about this game, I don't think. They've shown in the first few games that they've got a good side. They've signed some good players in Aribo, Bella-Kotchap, Lavia and Bazunu. Also, Sekou Mara looks decent from the bench as well. So it's looking good for both teams at the moment. And then in the tea time kickoff on Saturday, Arsenal managed to beat Fulham by 2 goals to 1. And it was definitely a test for Arsenal. They were the more dominant side throughout the game, but chances were limited in the first half. But the one player who never stopped for Arsenal was Martin Odegaard. He's been one of the players of the season so far this year in the first month of the season. I'd probably give him Player of the Month for August because he has been that good. And it is Arsenal's best player at the moment. I don't think you can really deny that. It's him and Jesus, really. Actually, I completely forgot about Jesus when I was saying that. But yeah, he was absolutely brilliant for Arsenal. And when they fell behind through the goal from Mitrovic, which was an obvious mistake from Gabriel. However, I think it was Bukayo Saka who played the pass into him. I don't think Saka did Gabriel many favours with that pass, but Gabriel certainly didn't help himself. He took a poor touch and allowed Mitrovic to put him under pressure. And then when he felt the pressure, he didn't just hoof it long, get rid of the danger. He tried to continue dribbling forward. Mitrovic, the strong player he is, manages to hook his leg around the ball and take it with him and manages to hold him off whilst he puts it into the bottom corner. So, yeah, brilliant play from Mitrovic, but Gabriel just, reeked of someone who hasn't been in that position very often before. So, yeah, Mitrovic did very well. But yeah, Arsenal, they managed to come back. Odegaard's brilliant goal, brilliant step over. Like the way he lets the ball roll past him with the step over and then sort of sends the defender who goes past the wrong way, gets the shot off. And yeah, it takes deflection, but it was still a decent effort and equalises and makes it 1-1. And for the Arsenal winner, Gabriel obviously gets it, but what I don't think many people are highlighting is that it is a superb corner from Gabriel Martinelli. He gets it so Arsenal, if we look at their team, they haven't got the most tallest team ever or the most big physical players. It's not as bad as it used to be for them, but they've only really got two players you're looking at to head the ball in from a corner, and that is William Saliba and Gabriel. Okay, maybe you have another few forward players in to pick anything up, like the loose pieces. But Martinelli gets it right into the area where the biggest players are. Bernd Leno's struggling to get to the ball and trying to punch it away. Falls to Gabriel, he manages to get it into the net. Agent Leno doing his job, some might say. But yeah, I'd imagine Gabriel would be feeling a whole lot better after scoring that, going from 0 to hero, if you like. And yeah, Aaron Ramsdale definitely played his part in the victory on Saturday as well, making some vital saves from players like Mitrovic and I think it was Bobby Decordova-Reid. So yeah, he definitely played his part. But for Arsenal, it's 4 wins out of 4. Probably their least convincing performance of the season so far. But again, that's what, as I said with Tottenham yesterday, this is what good teams do. They win when they haven't been at their best. I think a lot of their players yesterday weren't at their best, I thought. Jesus was quite quiet for how good he's been at the start of this season so far, but everyone's entitled to, have a game where they're not playing 10 out of 10 every now and again. Kieran Tierney made his first start of the season as well, but I felt with how well Zinchenko's been playing recently, Arsenal definitely missed him coming into midfield and giving them another option when they've got possession of the ball. Not that Tierney's a bad player, just two different types of player, and the way that Zinchenko's been playing recently has suited Arsenal perfectly. Fulham, once again, though, they showed that they are not going to be a team who are just going to be brushed aside by the big teams. Liverpool and Arsenal, they've given both of them a really tough game, managed to get a point against Liverpool, have also beaten Brentford and should have beaten Wolves, if we're being honest, with the penalty at the end of the game. So yeah, looking good for both sides once again. And then the final game I want to cover today is Wolves v Newcastle. It was the 2 o'clock kickoff on Sunday, and it was a really good game to watch. Wolves were playing really well, and they've played well the past 2 games that I've watched them. And yeah, I think even though they haven't actually won a game yet this season, I think there's a bit more confidence about Wolves now, knowing how well they've played in the past 2 games against teams who were predicted to have a better season than them this year. In the first half, they got the opening goal through Ruben Neves, and an absolutely brilliant strike it was from the edge of the box. It was well worked as well, the passing between Neto and Guedes, and he laid it off to Neves to strike. And yeah, Neves just showed in the first half that he's just an incredible footballer. Like the technique he has, some of the passes he was doing in the first half were just incredible. And one of them nearly led to a Pedro Neto goal early on, which it was quite a tough chance to take because Nick Pope did really well to close him down and make it hard for him. But he tried to sort of glance it with the outside of his left foot and flick it in. But it landed on the roof of the net, so that was quite unfortunate. But Pedro Neto and Guedes were causing problems all game, so yeah, that looks good for Wolves. However, the one thing I would say was one thing I was thinking throughout the game is I'm not sure Raul Jimenez is. It's not that he's not up to it, but I just don't think he's. Like, you can't expect someone to be at the level they were before an injury like he has had in the past couple of years. But at the same time, Wolves do need to have a striker who is, a very good player, which Jimenez is. But I don't know, since his injury, there's been a clear drop off in his performance, I feel personally. But it was a really good performance from Wolves in midfield. They played well. Defensively, they didn't have too many issues. There was just the one moment in the first half, really, where they were lucky not to concede a penalty for a shirt pull on Longstaff, and a chance fell to Willock, which he really should have taken. But for Newcastle, they were really missing having Bruno Guimaraes in midfield. Longstaff, he's a good, solid, hard-working player, but he's not the sort of player that's going to change a game for you like Guimaraes is. So they were really missing him on Sunday. Callum Wilson too, he offers something different to Chris Wood. Like, if a chance comes Callum Wilson's way, you just feel like he's going to score it. Like, he is deadly in front of goal. He just can't keep fit for more than 3 games, it feels, to Newcastle fans. Chris Wood, however, surprisingly, I saw a stat before the game that he is the joint top scorer against Wolves in the Premier League era, which I found amazing, to be honest, because he's not known for being a ridiculous goal scorer. He's a good forward, but he's not the most prolific striker in the Premier League. But then again, he did score a hat-trick against them a few years ago, and Wolves had never really been a side who concede lots of goals, really. So it sort of makes sense, I guess. But yeah, the equal. We have to talk about Sam Maximin's volley as well in stoppage time. You just think Wolves are just going to hold on. The boards for added times come up and 8 minutes left, so Wolves are just thinking, right, just hold on. And Hwang Chan off the bench produces quite a poor clearance, if we're being honest. It falls to the edge of the box. Sam Maximin on the volley, brilliant strike, caught it perfectly, and it went right where he'd wanted it to go. And yeah, he really saved Newcastle yesterday, because it was not Newcastle's best performance by a long stretch, I think. And they were looking like they were having a few injury troubles as well. Willock and Trippier were both pulling up with problems with their hamstrings, so hopefully for Newcastle that doesn't doesn't appear to be much of a problem, as they did play on. But yeah, it's not great for them yesterday, and it did show that the lack of depth is still there at Newcastle.